There was a new champion crowned, a major debut, and a return on last night's NXT. Plus, an AEW talent announces a sudden departure, and an AEW WrestleDream title match has been confirmed. It's all in the Cultaholic wrestling news right now. Title changes, debuts, and returns. Welcome back, Jack. Speaking of returns, there he is.
Hello.
Welcome in. Last night, we saw the end of the reign of Oba Femi.
I'm so happy that I'm on the podcast with Matthew this week, because last time I was on, I called it, and Matthew was like, "You'll never beat Oba Femi. He's a big boy. He's so massive." Well, no, because Tony's got heart, Tom. He's got heart.
Yeah, he's got heart, the head of a crime family.
You guys don't understand.
I clearly don't. Yeah, so last night, Tony D'Angelo became the new NXT North American champion. He defeated the record-breaking Oba Femi, ending his 273-day title reign with a sunset flip out of a powerbomb of all things. Like, what a simple move to wrap it up, but effective.
I totally agree, but at the same time, I think it protects Oba slightly. He didn't get battered by Tony D or anything.
No.
He still looked strong in defeat. He's broken the record for the longest reigning North American champion, as you've said. And I know that a lot of people will go, they've had Oba lose, but I think it's the mid-card title he's lost. Maybe he's going to move on to bigger and better things.
We'll hope so, because I genuinely think this is a guy that you could put on the main roster yesterday with
Tony,
Oba Femi.
Oba as well, to be fair.
Yeah. Well, look, congrats to Toby. It was Toby, apparently. Tony, it was a well-told story of somebody losing their confidence, fighting back, and then overcoming adversity. It's the full Rocky effect in it.
The call by Vic Joseph when he's standing there celebrating with the belt, and Vic goes, "He's not broken, he's home." So good. Well done, Toby.
Well done, Toby. Toby picking up a big title there.
Yes.
And Nikita Lyons back in the fold on last night's NXT as well. She returned in a backstage bit with the brilliant GM Ava from NXT and Lola Vice. And Lyons' first match back is going to be against Vice next week.
Yes, Nikita Lyons has been off TV since suffering a left ACL injury in January. Really bad luck, bad timing, because it followed an ACL and meniscus tear, all of which combined kept her out for most of the previous year as well. So it's been a long time coming for Nikita Lyons to get back in there. I think Lola Vice is an interesting choice of first opponent, because I'd expect Nikita to win the match because she's just come back and everything. I don't know if it'd be Lola Vice that I'd want to lose that. And also, presumably, this is two people who, I don't know, I just feel like you should have maybe booked Nikita against someone who wouldn't be harmed too much by a loss.
By a loss to Nikita Lyons straight back in. We'll see how that one pans out. We had a debut last night for NXT. First time in an NXT arena for Stephanie Vaquer.
Yes, this came during a segment where we had the NXT Women's Champion Roxanne Perez and her former friend, then worst enemy, now friend again. Cora Jade. They were holding court in heelish fashion on NXT. Julia came along. Obviously, she was the victim of Cora Jade's return. She looked to get into the ring for a bit of revenge, but she didn't come alone. As Tom mentioned, Stephanie Vaquer joined her on the ramp, and together they sent heels packing. And then, interestingly, they both picked up the NXT Women's title belt, much to the chagrin. Nice in the notes there of Cora and Roxanne. But the fact they've both picked up the belt, not only is that kind of bad news for the champion, bad news for each other. They've both got eyes on that title.
They had a brief bit where they both picked up the title, then both looked at each other. I kind of feel like they could have exaggerated that a bit more. They picked and they stared at each other, and then both at the same time turned to Roxanne Perez and Cora Jade.
Oh, Triple H would love you. That's really right? Triple H. Yeah, it's really good.
Cinema. I think that's what they were going to do. Basically, they're saying we should fight over this, but first, let's fight them too.
Fair enough.
That was the story I think they were telling. It was a packed old NXT, and Stephanie Vaquer will make her first steps into an NXT ring next week. She takes on No Quarter Catch Crew's Ren Sinclair in her debut match. Sinclair would have been maybe an opponent for Nikita Lyons, perhaps.
Possibly, yeah. Although
we talk about people that maybe could afford to take an L.
Yeah, and also Sinclair's got the sort of charisma that I think she can bounce back from a loss pretty fast. But I do still think this will be a good match, though. I'm looking forward to it.
Busy old night for NXT. AEW Title Tuesday happened last night as well. We'll get into that in just a moment. But before Title Tuesday, Maria Kanellis-Bennett gave us an update on her status with the company. So she's recently revealed, in terms of her health, that a mass was found on her adrenal gland and she's soon undergoing surgery. And in a health update video yesterday, she also said that her contract with AEW was up on October 31st and was yet to hear any news on any re-signing. Shortly after this update, Maria went on Twitter and suddenly announced her impending departure from AEW and Ring of Honor.
Yeah, she tweeted saying, "For those asking, I will be accepting interviews about my time and treatment in AEW after October 31st. I'll be able to start taking bookings 6 weeks after my surgery, so starting the second week in December." She also added on Instagram, "I tried getting an answer for almost 2 months from AEW."
So it seems as if either she's got the answer or she's just voted with her feet and she's taken the matter into her own hands and going, right, I'm just going to leave at the end of the month. Maybe.
It's interesting, isn't it? And I'm sure that more will come out when she starts doing these interviews and everything. First and foremost, sounds like she's quite confident that the surgery will go well because she's saying I'll be accepting bookings again. So, and that's fantastic news. So very good news for Maria there. But on the other hand, it does feel like another instance of AEW or Tony Khan maybe just having too much on his plate and forgetting things. Because in AEW, when a big names contract is up, someone at the current top of the company, that's in the news and everything. There's updates. It sounds like he's negotiating all the time. And then Maria can't even get an answer. And I think, yes, she's not like a featured player on the show and everything, but like, she's an employee of your company. You've got to reply to her messages.
If that is the case, and that is certainly a massive oversight that's led to
speculation, of course, on my part.
Of course, it is. Maria Kanellis Bennett and Mike Bennett and their wonderful daughter gave us the most wholesome moment in Desert Island Graps history a few years ago when they returned home mid-interview with Mike, and it was a lovely moment. I shared it on my Twitter. And Maria, you mentioned there. Obviously, I've already reached out properly, but your passport has been cleared for Cultaholic Island. Should you wish to come and have a chat with us, it'd be lovely to have you on. Let's talk about Dynamite Title Tuesday from last night, and we finally have a official certified update about the future of Daniel Garcia.
Yes, he made a surprise appearance on last night's Dynamite on Tuesday for 1 week only, of course. Daniel Garcia put the rumors to bed and addressed his AEW future, revealing that he was staying where the best wrestle, AEW. He said this was a new Daniel Garcia who wasn't going to be little broed by people in the back, who won't cry or complain every time he loses, and is ready to start changing everything, calling out everyone in AEW that holds gold. He said, "You're not safe, and I'm coming for what you've got." Feeling is restored.
He has like a pose now, which isn't the dance.
Okay.
Because he kind of this is the pose where you
he
start
doesn't
the
dance.
But he doesn't dance. He just does this bit. So this is serious Daniel Garcia. I think he's given that dance to Mina Shirakawa, to be honest with you.
Okay, yeah,
which is perfectly fine to give it to Mina Shirakawa. Like she wears it well, to quote Rod Stewart.
So did he.
And he also did.
Fantastic hips on Daniel Garcia.
They are hips that don't lie.
Yeah, I'm interested to see where this goes. Hopefully, it is the start of a sustained push, in my opinion, because I think he's really, really good, and I think he's out of maybe everyone in AEW that I can think of has improved the most on the mic since the beginning of his run with the company to now. So I think he's got everything he needs. Let him do it.
A few shifts of the faction-flavoured goalposts on AEW last night. We know that Don Callis has Lance Archer in the Don Callis family now, but it was part of a trade-off that was revealed after a match with Hologram versus Commander.
Yes, Hologram picked up the win over Commander, and then Jake the Snake Roberts appeared on the ramp for the first time. It's the first time in a while since we've seen Jake the Snake Roberts on screen.
Lovely jacket.
As he did so, Roosh, Mortos, and Dralistico all ran in and attacked both men, and then pointed to Jake on the stage. This completes a trade between Jake Roberts' faction and the Don Callis family, with Callis taking Lance Archer in exchange for Roosh, Mortos, and Dralistico, who are now under the wing of Jake the Snake Roberts. I totally forgot that the Roosh, Dralistico, and Mortos were in the Don Callis family. But there's something about
They've
this.
They've been working from home. They've been working remotely. It happens.
There's something about this that I do kind of like in a throwback old school way. It feels like sort of Heenan family business kind of stuff.
Training of the managers. I do hope it means that Jake Roberts is more involved week to week if he's well enough to do so.
Okay, yeah.
Because, you know, one of the greatest promos in history, and I know he's had a lot of difficulty with his lungs and stuff like that, so I don't know how capable he is. I hope that there's still a guy who can really knocked those promos out of the park because these guys would really pay dividends for these guys if that was the case. Also last night on Dynamite Title Tuesday, we had a little bit of a jiggery-pokery around the women's title eliminator match. Meant to see Britt Baker versus Willow Nightingale. We didn't get that. More on that in a second. We got a 4-way eliminator that also featured Saraya and Jamie Hayter. And in amongst all of that chaos, we had a return.
Yes, none other than Penelope Ford, who attacked Jamie Hayter with a steel chair before being chased to the back by Hayter herself, but costing her a victory in the process, and therefore costing her a title opportunity as well, Tom. It's been nearly 2 years since we've seen Penelope Ford wrestle. She took time out with an undisclosed injury. She also spoke openly about her and her partner Kip Sabian sadly suffering a miscarriage, and also she needed surgery. Luckily, she's able to return to the ring and everything, and it's great to see her back. And I always think she's someone you really need in a good division in a wrestling promotion, where she's someone who can take a loss, but she's also someone that can realistically beat anyone as well.
Yeah.
And she's a great heel.
She's a great player. Welcome back, Penelope. Nice to have you back. So that eliminator match was supposed to be, as we say, Britt Baker versus Willow Nightingale. However, it was announced by Tony Khan on his first TikTok in a long time. He was kind of doing the Tom Spiracy stance as he did it as well, which is nice. I liked it. And he revealed that Britt Baker is unwell and unable to travel. Fightful Select updates and says AEW was aware that Britt Baker is under the weather as of the afternoon and will be stuck in Orlando during the hurricane. So no Baker on Dynamite this week. Presumably next week, travel and health being all good, we'll see her back there, but she misses out on an opportunity to become a top contender.
Yes. Hopefully she'll be back very soon. Hopefully everything's okay.
But the story was always going to be Willow Nightingale getting that opportunity, and she won the 4-way eliminator match on Title Tuesday, challenging Mariah May this Saturday now for the AEW Women's World title. After picking up the win, she went up the ramp and was congratulated by Mariah May with a headbutt and some whipping from the title belt onto her back.
I'm a little bit, I know that plans have maybe changed and everything, they've had to reshuffle everything. I'm not too excited that it's Willow Nightingale because it's early in Mariah May's title reign, still relatively, and I think that Willow should be the person to ultimately dethrone her. Mariah is such an evil heel and everything, and Willow is the complete polar opposite. She's the biggest babyface in the division. I mean, that doesn't mean that I assume that Mariah will retain here. It doesn't mean that they can't run it back in the future, I suppose. But I would have liked to have seen them hold off on Willow for now and give her a big build and then a big glorious victory.
We could see maybe a glorious victory ahead of that at WrestleDream on Saturday. They might just skip all that brilliant advice and just give her the belt on Saturday.
You never know.
You never know. But 9 Pitches might know. It's what we want to happen.
It is.
It's on the channel later on today. Plus predictions for AEW WrestleDream with Ross and Sam. You have live reactions to WrestleDream with Ross and Sam on Saturday and what happened at as well. And the WTF moments from WrestleDream on patreon.com/Cultaholic next week as well. And more importantly, are you twitching tonight?
I am twitching tonight. Twitch.tv/Cultaholic from 6 p.m. UK time. Myself and Owen are in the Premier League with the Birmingham Swans. We tried to get a move to a bigger team in the summer and it didn't pan out. We're still with Birmingham. We love them.
Love the Birmingham.
Owen had the first match last week when I was away, and I think we lost like 5-3. It was a goal fest. It's going to be tough.
It's going to be a good time had by all regardless.
Yeah.
Except the Swans, maybe.
Maybe.
Twitch.tv/Cultaholic from 6 p.m. BST. And for the latest wrestling news at any time and take on some of our brilliant new quizzes, you can check out our brand new website at cultaholic.com. Stay safe and fly, Swans, fly.